Good morning, guys. This is our live video for math. Please make sure you have a piece of paper and a pencil, and I want you to walk through these with me. So right now, go ahead and pause the video, write 441 plus 323 on your paper, and then play the video whenever you're ready, and we're going to walk through these steps. Okay, so whenever you see the word estimate, we've talked about this word before. The word estimate means to round. So we know we're going to be rounding, which we've been working on the last few days. And then we have the word total, which we know means to add. So we're going to round and then add. You always round first. Do not add first. You need to round first. Okay? Both of these digits go to the hundreds place, so we know we're going to be rounding to the nearest hundred. So I'm going to find my place, the hundreds, go next door. 5 or more, let it score. 4 or less, let it rest. So remember, we have our roller coaster, our rounding roller coaster. We have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, let it score. Okay? So the 4 is the bossy neighbor. So 4 is what I'm going to find on my rounding roller coaster, which means I'm going to tell it to rest. Remember, 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, let it score. Okay? The bossy neighbor is who you're going to find on the roller coaster. So I found my 4, so that means I'm going to tell this 4 to rest. Remember, if a number rests, it doesn't change. So my 4 doesn't change. Okay, and the rests turn into zeros. Now we're going to round this number. Find your place, go next door. 5 or more, let it score. 4 or less, let it rest. So now my 2 is the bossy neighbor. Okay, here's my 2. It's on the 4 or less, let it rest. So it's going to tell the 3 to rest, and the rest turn into zeros. Now that's not the end. I still need to add. Okay? Estimating adds that extra step to rounding. You're going to either add or sometimes you'll subtract. So I have 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 4 plus 3 is 7. So my answer there is 700. Okay, pause the video here. On your paper, I want you to write 481 minus 115. Whenever you have that written down, press play, and we'll go through the steps. Okay, so here again, we still have both digits in the hundreds place, so I know I'm rounding to the hundreds. So I'm going to find my place, go next door. The 8 is the bossy neighbor, okay? 5 or more, let it score. 4 or less, let it rest. So I'm going to go over here to my rounding roller coaster, and I have an 8. It's on the 5 or more, let it score side, which means it's going to tell my 4 to score. Now, whenever you score, so let's talk about like in soccer. If you have 4 and you score a goal, now you have 5 goals. Okay? So the digit just goes up 1. So now I have my 4 turns into a 5, and the 8 and the 1 turn into zeros. Same thing down here. Find my place, go next door. Okay, the 1 is over here on the rest side of the roller coaster. So it's going to tell the 1 to rest. When it rests, it doesn't change. And then this 1 and this 5 turn into zeros. Okay, now we're going to subtract. Over here we added. Make sure you keep in mind what you're going to be doing. 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. 5 minus 1 is 4. So you have 400 there. Alright, let's move on to our word problems. Alright. Destiny had 634 ribbons. She sold some of the ribbons and then had 423 left. Which equation could not be used to find the number of ribbons Destiny sold? Okay, so she had 634. And she sold some of the ribbons. Then she had 423 left. So we need to figure out how many she had or how many she sold. Okay? So let's go ahead and figure out what that number would be. So we know we're going to subtract. Okay, she had so many left. So 4 minus 1 is 1. 4 minus 3 is 1. 3 minus 2 is 1. 6 minus 4 is 2. So I have 211. So now what we want to do is we want to plug this number into these boxes and see which one does not make sense. Okay? 634 minus 201. 211. Okay. So, and this should say, I'm sorry guys, that's a typo. That should say 634. Okay, so 634 minus 211 equals 423. That does make sense, okay? 634 minus 74 equals 211. $423 plus 211 equals 634. 423 plus 634 equals 211. So we know here that we're not going to be adding anything. All right, let's go to the next one. Marshawn had 247 baseball cards. He bought more baseball cards, and now he has 502 baseball cards. Which equation could be used to find the number of baseball cards Marshawn bought? Okay, so he had 247 and he bought more baseball cards. Now he has 502. So we know he had 247. Okay. Do we know how much he bought? It says he bought more baseball cards and now he has 502. So we don't know how much he bought. Okay. That's the mystery number. And now he has 502. Okay, so remember we've talked about whenever there's a missing number, you subtract to find that missing number. So to find that missing number, we would do 502 minus 247 to find that gap. Okay, so let's come over here and look at our answer choices. So we have 247 plus however much he bought is 502. And we write this down because now we're able to find our matching answer, which is this one. We know we're not subtracting because if you subtract something from 242, you're not going to get to a bigger number, 502. That doesn't make any sense. We're not adding 502 and 247 because he did not buy 502 more baseball cards. That's how much he has in the end. That's his total. And we're not going to do 502 plus a number to get to 247. You need to make sure you look at certain answer choices because this doesn't make sense. If I have 502 and I add something to it, I'm not going to get to 247. That's a smaller number. Okay? I know he started with 247. He bought some more, which is that number we don't know, and now he has 502. Okay? All right. Blake wants to buy a new bike that costs $125. He saved $54. Okay, so he needs $125. He saved $54. Which equation can be used to find how much more money Blake needs in order to buy the bike? So, right now, we have a missing number. Okay, what did I just say we need to do in order to find a missing number? Okay, so we have 125 and we have 54. And we know that we need to subtract to get that missing number. And those are, sorry guys, hold on one second. Okay, so we know we have a missing number. Sorry about that, guys. We know we have a missing number. So I just said when we have a missing number, we need to subtract. So we're going to have 125 minus 54 to find that missing number. Okay, which is B. Alright, there were 19 people in line to buy hot chocolate. Actually, let's go to the next page. I want to do some of the two-step problems. Okay, here we go. Jasmine had $296 in her bank account. On Wednesday, she put $67 more, and on Thursday, she took out $74 to buy a Christmas present. Which equation can be used to find the amount of money Jasmine had in her bank account after she took out money? So we know she had $296. Okay. And she put $67 more. So she's adding $67 to her bank account. Then she took out $74. So you're taking it out, which means you're subtracting. So we have 296 plus 67 plus 74 is D. That's why it's always important to write down your thinking so that you can match it with the correct answer. And you're going to be doing these type of questions on Canvas Day. So make sure on your piece of paper or in your journal you show your work.